Welcome back to the Marching to Madness College Basketball Podcast with Florida Atlantic University head coach Dusty May. This week, his Owls are number 19 in the AP poll, number 20 in the coaches poll, and they sit at number 34 in the KenPom.com. The Owls have now won 20 in a row and lead Conference USA by 3 games. Coach, welcome.
It's great to be on, Ken.
Oh, yeah. Always good to have you. This is the first time Florida Atlantic has been ranked, and I was curious about the idea of that and maybe how the team and in the area there have, communicated as such.
Well, they've communicated through their actions, Ken. We've had unbelievable crowd support, our fans, our student body. We've been selling out our home games. There's a great buzz on campus, and I do believe that the people in the area really appreciate the way our guys play the game. It's not just the winning streak or not just the wins versus losses, but the way they carry themselves and the way they play the game, I do believe is appreciated.
I know you've obviously won 20 in a row. So what have been the keys in being able to acquire this time of success and keep that winning streak going?
Anytime you have this type of winning streak, you're getting contributions from a lot of different people, and even the guys that aren't getting significant minutes are doing a great job with scout team and bringing different elements to the equation. But I think more than anything else, we have great depth. We have unbelievable leadership within our locker room and on the court at all times. We have some natural leaders that are about the right stuff. They're hardworking. They're great teammates. They're all sacrificing. And when you see us march out 4 guys off the bench who are all starting caliber players, and they embrace that role, it's hard to not fall into line to being a great teammate. And so that's what our guys have done. They've all just embraced their role, and they've worked diligently with a great attitude. So I think those are all the things that have allowed us to have this streak.
Sure. Now, you were mentioning that the fans love their attitude.
It's just kind of who they are. They're engaging. They appreciate the support. And they were here, or they've been with us for a few years. So they were here playing games in front of just a few people. And so they know the difference. It's not as if they're just walking into a program where there's 17,000 fans that just that part of the culture is coming to the games. They've had to really earn, I guess, this attention, earn the fans' trust. And in South Florida, there's a lot of things that are competing for people's time and money. So for them to use their 2 most valuable resources to come and watch our games in South Florida is once again a testament to our players.
Now, you have a 3-point game that is in the top 20% in the nation right now, and it allows you to shoot 37.2% from beyond the arc. What I thought was interesting, there's 7 Owls who average at least 1 triple per game. Nick Boyd has made the team high of 38, and he shoots 44.2% from behind the arc.
That's true, Ken. And Nick got off to a pretty slow start. He wasn't shooting the ball very well early. And so that shows what he's been able to do the last 10 or 15 games. But Nick played significant minutes 2 years ago as a freshman during the COVID season. And last year he missed all year with a foot injury. So we had him sitting out. He's an unbelievable leader. He's a great passer. Anytime you have a player that can dribble, pass, and shoot, that has a great attitude, they're tough, competitive, and they're hardworking, they're going to find ways to contribute. And his role's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. But outside of his 3-point percentage and his points per game and all that, those other things, he's an amazing leader, and his work ethic's contagious. So he brings a lot to our team.
Well, John L. Davis and Elijah Martin are your 2 top leading scorers, and they have taken over, as I look at things, they've taken over more of a starting role of late. So with that, and even with the scoring volume, how have they been able to solidify themselves in starting positions of late?
Well, John L. was a prolific scorer for his high school team and was a role player on the EYBL circus. So he's always been able to pretty much adapt to whatever situation he's in to contribute. And he's worked incredibly hard to improve his perimeter shooting. He came in as a driver, slasher, mid-range shooter. And through hard work and time, he's become a really good shooter from behind the three, off the dribble and off the catch, and he's a matchup nightmare. He's about 6'3", 6'4", but he plays 6'8" or 6'9". So his emergence has really allowed us to separate offensively from where we were in the past because he's such a matchup nightmare. And then Elijah Martin had an all-league caliber season last year as a COVID freshman, and he's now getting everyone's best defender and top of the scouting report. So he's figuring out different ways to score. He hasn't shot it quite as well this year as he did last season, but the water finds its level over the course of a year. We expect him to have a really strong finish to the conference season, into the conference tournament, NCAA tournament. That's a really talented group of young players, though.
Vladislav Golden shoots 63.2%. He's an inside talent. Now, I noticed he's brought his game up even further statistically this year. So I'm curious about how you and your staff have developed him.
Well, Vlad and Giancarlo Rosado, both of our fives, work extremely hard on their game. And when you look at their production over 40 minutes together, almost every single game, they have an amazing stat line. It's efficient. They rebound, they pass, they score. We ask our five men to do a lot on both sides of the ball, and Vladislav's improved in every component of the game. And then he's almost a polar opposite of Giancarlo. So we're able to throw two different types of five men at opponents every game, and they're both really good young basketball players.
You've got something similar there on the point with Brian Greenlee and Michael Forrest. How do these two maintain the playmaking and distribution? And then how do they work together when they're on the floor?
Well, Brian Greenlee, his production's actually dropped a little bit from a scoring standpoint because he's embraced the role of a defensive stopper and a penetrator, a drive and kick guy. We typically have 2 or 3 point guards on the floor at all times, and with Jalen Gaffney being the other one. And Jalen is as good a passer as anyone in our program. So Jalen, Mike, and BJ are all completely different as players, where Mike's more of a shooter. He shoots off the dribble. BJ's a defender and speedy, fast point guard. And then Jalen Gaffney is a system guard that makes everybody better. He knows how to make the right play at the right time. So I think the fact that they're all so different, they're incredibly difficult from a scouting report standpoint because they all play a lot. If they're on, they play 25 or 30 minutes. If someone else is really clicking that night, they might only play 12 to 18. So once again, they stay ready. They push each other every single day. And our practices, our blue and gray team, every single day goes down to the last possession because of the parity of our roster.
Yeah, Jalen, his skills in distribution and his plays, he's like you say, he's about 25 minutes per game. He generally starts at 2, though. So you have a lot of ability among guards to be able to play make as well as shoot.
Without a doubt, Ken, especially when you have your 1, 2, 3 are all pretty good at dribble passing and shooting. And then you have a 4-man like Davis and Weatherspoon. And Davis is a little bit of he's a Swiss Army knife guy, and then Weatherspoon is a great catch and shoot guy. He's a good defender. He's an unbelievable communicator and teammate. So we feel like we have 2 good players at every single position. So foul trouble, we're playing against a smaller team, a bigger team, whatever the case. We feel like we're able to match and adapt to whoever we're playing against because we've had to win a lot of different ways this season.
I don't want to forget the defense. It's obviously very important. You defend at a high clip, 40% per game. That's 30th in college basketball. You're number 1 in Conference USA, though, at 40.8%.
Well, we switch a lot, Ken, and we have numerous different ball screen coverages, and both of our 5 men are solid to really good ball screen defenders. And our guys are extremely connected. They cover for each other. They've been together, so they know they almost can expect what the others are going to do. And they have a lot of pride in stopping their men. So I would say probably the thing we do best is stay in front of the basketball. Guard one-on-one. We don't have to overhelp. We're not typically in rotations. We can keep bodies on bodies. And therefore, we're an exceptional rebounding team because we're not so strung out all the times and we're not off balance. And for us, we're typically undersized at 4 or 5 positions on the court at all times. For our guys to rebound the way they do is once again a testament to how hard they work, how competitive they are. and then also some things like being quick to the ball and anticipation or whatever the case. But I think it all stems from us really being able to guard the basketball one on one, and that's our speed, quickness, athleticism, but pride more than anything else.
Offensively, again, how have you noticed that generally the squads inside your league, Conference USA, try to defend you?
Well, the words that have been out since we've been here that we love the 3-point shot, and we do. We've got much more versatility this year in our offensive play, where if you really take away the three, we're able to attack in different ways. And you mentioned Vlad's field goal percentage, and Giancarlo's an efficient scorer as well. We're able to get those guys the ball, and they can score, they can pass, they can do a number of things. But also, we've got some good driver slasher finishers who give us a little more diversity offensively. So we're not just relying on the 3-point shot.
Vlad and Giancarlo now both being inside. What's the differences in their games?
They're polar opposites, Ken.
Yeah.
Vladislav is a 7'1" rim roller that can catch it on the move. He can catch it on the short roll, score on the block. Really good offensive and defensive rebounder. And then Giancarlo's a 6'8". We say his game reminds us of Boris Diaw with his passing, his skill, an incredibly bright communicator, talker. So those guys both, we think that makes us even more challenging to guard because they're completely opposite players. For example, we'll pick and pop Giancarlo, and he'll get into dribble handoffs and play on the perimeter, drive bigs, play one-on-one, and then Vladislav is more just putting pressure on the rim. So it's almost like two completely different scouting reports just based on one substitution.
Last thing, Coach May, the focus and the concentration you guys have per game. Discuss how the team is able to do that and do it well as you've won 20 games in a row.
Well, we talk about it a lot that when you defend and you rebound every single night, you should that should eliminate the stress and anxiety of winning and losing because you're going to be in position to win. And I do think our guys have a lot of faith in the guy that sits to the left and to the right that someone's going to step up, especially with our depth. And even last game, for example, Brennan Lorient, who's a very talented freshman for us, he came in and played minutes and really impacted the game in just a 3 to 5 minute window. And so we have a lot of guys that are in the rotation and different guys step up every night. But we also have a few guys that are just out of the rotation. Isaiah Gaines, Trey Carroll, that they've both been very impactful in winning and losing this year when their number's been called. So I do think we improve in practice because of the parity of our roster, the depth of our roster, but also just the fact that they're all staying ready and supporting their teammates when they're on the court. It gives us a little bit extra juice because they're such great teammates.
Coach Dusty May, ladies and gentlemen, the Florida Atlantic Owls. Turn on the TV and watch these guys play. You won't be disappointed. Coach, good luck to you. I hope to see you down the road somewhere soon.
Absolutely, Ken. You're a pro's pro. Thank you.